Hey there, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm going to share with you 4 top resources today that are going to help you stay healthy, pain-free, and most of all, improve your quality of life. The last few weeks I've been sending these out over my newsletter email, which you're welcome to join. If you just click down in the description, you'll find a link to that. I wanted to just kind of preface the 4 resources for you today with a little acronym that you can use day to day for when you're consuming content. Also, at the end of the video, there's going to be a 5th resource of biomechanics resource for you from Functional Patterns, which I think will go down a treat. So the acronym I wanted to share with you today is called Vulp. And this was given to me by a history teacher, Mr. Powell. Shout out to Mr. Powell if you ever see this video. He used to always get us to kind of look at things from the perspective of the writer who was creating the content, in particular historical references. And it's very rare these days that you're going to be able to read something without, or watch something for that matter, without having that person's thoughts influence how you feel. Okay, and emotion is a crazy thing. So this acronym is VULP. It stands for Value, Origin, Limitation, and Purpose. And think to yourself, every time you watch a video or every time you read something, maybe an article, think about what the value of that article is to you. Think about the origin of that article. You know, who's written it? Who is the person behind the actual words or the content? What's their kudos? What's their rep like? What the limitation is based on, you know, the value and the origin. What limitations has the resource got in it? You know, if you're reading an article about how scoliosis can be fixed through a particular exercise, you've got to realize that there will be limitations to that article. There will be limitations to the study that you might be reading. And lastly, the purpose. You know, what is the purpose of this content like I'm creating today for you? What is its purpose? Well, I've told you the purpose is to help you get fitter, stay healthy, and remain pain-free. That's the purpose of what I'm trying to do. These sorts of acronyms will be really helpful for you to make an objective decision on whether you should filter out or filter in that information. Kicking things off with resource 1, this is a book by Dr. John Rates and Eric Hagerman, a book that I've been talking about for a long time. It's called Spark, and it is all about how the brain works in conjunction with exercise. And the most important part of this is a quote that I'll read to you. In addition to priming our state of mind, exercise influences learning directly at a cellular level, improving the brain's potential to log in and process new information. That's pretty cool. And I can say that's 100% true with everything I've done with Functional Patterns. You know, exercise is a positive thing for the body, provided you're doing it in the way that helps your health. That's a really good book. I highly recommend reading it or downloading the Audible version if there is one. Resource 2 is a video by Lewis Ellery from Functional Patterns, and he talks about why biomechanics matter. And he talks about this as a physiotherapist, but also a functional patterns practitioner. What you'll find is that a lot of physiotherapists and a lot of practitioners in a traditional model will look for a tried and tested routine in a studied environment or in a university environment or in a hospital environment. And functional patterns brings a whole new element to rehabilitation and to helping the body move mechanically, which is why I got involved with functional patterns in the first place. It's a really interesting video because what he's trying to say is you can't simply just treat everything the same. You can't treat individuals the same, and you can't look to older traditional methods when there are more cutting edge resources out there for you. It's a little bit like building your house with really old tools when you could buy a bulldozer and you could buy all these new fancy things that are going to help speed the process up and improve the quality of your life a lot more quickly and a lot better for the long term. So that video itself, he goes into a lot of depth, and I don't want to be the person that just splurges back what my interpretation of it was, then you should go and make an objective decision on that content for yourself. But I thought it was a very insightful video, and I'm sure there are a lot of physios out there that would actually probably agree with what he's saying, and there'll probably be some that kick back and say, how dare you? Hey, that's why we have these sorts of videos, so that you can kind of figure out if you want to go watch it. The next resource on my list is one by a Joe Rogan podcast from a while back, and I'm pretty sure I shared this as well in previous resources with you, all about sleep with Matthew Walker. He does a lot of research into sleep, and actually there's a whole segment on caffeine there, and if you caught my last video about chronic pelvic pain syndrome, you'll know that I mentioned how caffeine needs to be regulated or reduced or eliminated completely if you want to make a recovery from chronic pain there. Yeah, it just, sleep is one of those things that like people seem to think is the major thing. Like, I just need to sleep longer. And it's like, well, actually, it's more to do with the quality of your sleep, but also the things that you do in the day that lead up to you sleeping that are going to make the biggest difference to your sleep. You can't just simply improve your sleep by sleeping more. You have to be able to do things in your day that help you rest better at night and reduce your stress levels. So it's like, well, if you're not in an optimal state to go to bed and go to sleep, then how could you create a better state for you to go to sleep so that you get the most out of it? That's a good resource there, and that is probably a 3-hour, knowing Joe Rogan, it's probably 3 hours of him getting high and talking shit. The last resource that I'm going to share with you today is called the Headspace meditation app. And the reason I've included this is because I think meditation, like I've been meditating on and off for like since I started losing weight. And the reason I've been doing it is because it helps to regulate my thoughts in the morning. So I'm not flying off the handle, checking emails and reacting to things. I'm taking time for myself. I'm disconnecting from my thought processes in the morning that might be oriented around, you know, go to work, get this done, get that done. I'm trying to take a step back and go, right, okay, let's focus on the most important things, and then we take it from there. And meditation just gives me that time and that space. And the guided stuff through Headspace is something I've been using for a while. And this isn't a sponsored video or anything like that. Although, hey, Headspace, if you do ever want to sponsor me, fantastic. The app has been probably the best one that I've used, and it just helps you with kind of like a morning routine. It might help you with an evening routine. I know a lot of people that meditate just before they go to bed so that they're calm and they're relaxed and they get better quality of sleep. I find in the morning it's better for me to start my day. 4 resources there for you. Today I'd just like to share one more, and that was the functional patterns element with my golf swing. For those of you who've watched this channel from the very beginning, I actually started this channel as a golfing vlog, and I had a goal to play all the golf courses in the UK, and sadly I couldn't actually get to do that. And the reason was because every time I hit a golf ball it hurt, and my body would end up quite painful at the end of the day, my ribs in particular. And so I was finding it harder and harder to get quality sleep, and my life wasn't where it needed to be. So I decided to focus on fixing myself for functional patterns. And I stopped playing golf altogether. I stopped hitting golf balls, I stopped practicing, just put the golf clubs away. I went back to the driving range the other day and I hit some golf balls, and man, the golf swing had changed so much. And I was like, this is insane. I know how to swing a golf club. It took me about 20 minutes to kind of get my head around some of the movements again, because I've had to learn new movement patterns of rotation. I've had to learn new movement patterns of everything else. And if you see the footage on screen now, you'll notice that my overall structure looks a little bit more solid. I actually found my glutes were more active. I found that I didn't have to try and hit the ball as hard, but that I actually just generated club head speed, and my impact position was so much better. And off the back of that video, I am thinking to myself, well, actually, how do I transition some of this information into some golfing resources? So if you know anyone who's a golfer, or if you are a golfer themselves and you want to play better golf and hit the ball better, I'm going to have a series of videos coming up for you that you can watch on this channel that are going to be very helpful from that regard. Just understand that resource that I've just shared there, that information, is based on no golf swing. I've literally hit no golf balls. I've just done functional patterns. I've repositioned and rebalanced some of the muscles in my body. What I'd like you to think about with functional patterns is the whole concept behind the functional patterns training systems and their 10-week course and working with practitioners is to make you a more balanced human being. And when you're a more balanced human being, you can turn your hand to things that maybe you've got a gift for, maybe you've got a talent for, maybe you've learned how to do, and you can do them a hell of a lot better. Certain things like sitting in a chair become easier, certain things like running become easier as you progress with the functional patterns concepts, and you're able to get more out of everything. So I thought that was really helpful. I thought it was really insightful, and it was nice to know that even though I stopped playing golf a year ago, I can still hit a golf ball further and straighter as if I hadn't stopped practicing at all, which is really powerful. So those are the resources for you in this podcast today. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I will always come back to you in the comments. I will do my best to reach out to any DMs through Instagram. You guys have been hitting me up quite a lot, and I really appreciate it, and I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can. So keep them coming. Have a great day wherever you are in the world, and check out some other videos on screen now if you want to find out a little bit more about me if this is your first time here. Have a great day, stay strong, and keep moving.